now that the closet project is over, let's go over expenses and total cost. So I originally said this would be a couple $100, and I definitely underestimated how much it would be. But I also did more than I was really planning on doing. So let's break it down by 3 different categories: materials, tools, and finishing items, and go over all the different expenses. So first of all, materials, starting with sanded plywood. I had 3 different sheets of plywood, and that was $214 total. So that was the biggest expense of the entire thing, and that allowed me to do all of the tower, and then an additional shelf as well. So I did have to get 1 additional board for the shoe shelf. That was $12, and I had to buy a closet hanging rod, and that was $9. I also got support boards for the shoe racks, and those were just $2. I did use a lot of items that I had in my garage already as support boards and just additional things, so I did have a few things on hand that I could use. And edge banding was $16. Drawer slides, I got a set of 6, and I only used 5 sets. That was $56 total. And hardware for all these poles was $35. Then I got pocket hole screws, $9, and spackle, $10. So the grand total for materials only was $363. So that's not that bad, adding it all up. So then tools, I did have a lot of tools already. You know, I used a miter saw, used circular saw, jigsaw, so I already had those on hand. But tools that I had to get, edge banding trimmer, $15, an iron to iron on the edge banding. Didn't have an iron, only have a steamer, so that was $20. And putty scraper, $6. A wallpaper install kit, $4. A set of 4 paint rollers I just had run out, $13. And tray liners, set of 3, $3. So that is $61 for tools that I needed to purchase. And then the final category of finishing items, so paint, first of all, that was $52. Primer, primed all of the wood basically beforehand. I didn't prime the wall. I never do that. So that was $14. And then wallpaper, I did 2 rolls of wallpaper, so that was $80 total. Did I need to do that? No, but I do think it added a lot to the closet. And then the rods behind me, it was a set of 4. I only ended up using 3, and that was $51. So the total for finishing items is $197, with a grand total of the whole closet, $621. So that was a lot more than I was expecting it would be. Like I said, I did a lot more than I was kind of planning on. I really only planned on doing this tower and adding a second rod. Not even really paint, and definitely not wallpaper. So I kind of was just, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do the whole thing. So I'm very happy with how it ended up. I think if I would have had somebody come in and do it, it would have been probably a couple $1,000 instead of $621. So overall, I'm very happy with it.